stuttering.
Yeah, boy.
Let's go.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Let's go.
Test, test, test. Ding dong.
Let's ding dong, bing bong.
Bing bong.
Good
Ding dong,
evening,
bing
everyone.
Bing bong.
Test. Hello.
Yeah, it should be live.
Alright then, hello all. We are back with another episode of Storytime with Scrappy and Friends. My name is ScrappyFan92, and with me today are Harry, Raideran, and Pedriva making his story debut.
Oh yeah.
So,
I kind of missed like 7 chapters.
Yeah.
Tex, what's that?
Yeah, right.
So, we are back with the Little Mermaid story. That's called The Little Mermaid, but it's a Power Ranger story. So yeah, previously, Madison, our aerial stand-in, had to, she fell in love with humanity, like literally and figuratively. Father Dagron does not approve, and now she has a chaperone named Toby following her around. She's gone to the Sea Witch Necroli to make a trade.
Do
And,
some
yeah,
funny fun.
Yeah, that's basically it. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so we're just getting into this. Pedriva's taking over some of N and Baka's roles, and I'm filling in for the rest.
It'll be very funny if N like shows up in the middle of this.
And who knows if I'll get new roles.
Yeah.
No, you're just 2 characters for the rest of the story.
I'm 2 characters, one who's mute and another who's like done. Like I don't think she's gonna show up for the rest of the for the time being.
Oh yeah, you're Madison. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm Madison, who no longer has speaking lines.
I mean, if you want to narrate.
I could narrate. You pass it off immediately at the start of the episode.
I
Start making the garlic bread.
wish we could
This
have
is
had,
optimal.
I wish we could have had Maddie voice Madison. That would be great.
I've been trying, like... I asked, but I don't think she responded yet.
Yeah, sounds about right.
We have female friends, people, we promise.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna get into it because it's past midnight in Harry's time zone. I haven't eaten lunch or dinner, so...
Oh my
just-
god, what?
No.
What are you doing?
Just living off of sheer willpower. I respect it. That's how I live. You think I eat? It's crazy.
Yeah, less willpower, more spite for me.
Eating is overrated.
So, let's see. Alright then, this is The Little Mermaid, Chapter 8, by Princess Belle, Prince Adam. You may begin narration, Raideran.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize Raider was doing narration.
Got them.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either. But I guess
Thought
they
we were
will.
joking? We don't joke around here, okay?
Wow.
Scrappy doesn't joke. And it's probably for the better.
He's like the straight man out of us.
Only on this show, I'm a freaking terrorizing asshole on Harry's Let's Plays.
I mean, like, he still had the deadpan, voice, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a curse.
2 mermen delivered Madison to the surface just in time. They swam with her to the shore, and she laid back on the hot sand, gasping for breath. Once Madison felt more like herself, she sat up slowly, stretching her new legs in front of her. She ran her hands over the foreign shape of the limbs. Her smile was wide as she gave an experimental kick.
Maddie?
Pip asked, not quite meeting her gaze. He gestured vaguely towards her. The blue princess looked down and realized for the first time that she was nude. A bright blush crept over her face as she hastily bent to cover herself. Toby looked a little more comfortable as he locked gazes with the younger merman.
Well, the princess is safe for now. What do you suggest we do?
King Dagron's advisor turned back to Maddie.
how are we going to get you something to wear?
But Chip had spotted another problem coming towards the trio. They had to disappear, and quickly, or they were all doomed.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's on the server.
Love it.
Prince Nicholas was ready to go home for the day. He stood shaking sand from his clothing. Giving the horizon one last look, he slowly began to turn away. Wait a moment. What was that? There was a girl sitting on the shore, seemingly naked. It was his obligation as prince of the land to help his citizens, so he unfastened his long red cloak as he strode up to her. Luckily for Chip and Toby, he was so focused on the girl that he didn't notice the 2 slight splashes that appeared when they lowered themselves into the water.
Here.
Nick murmured kindly as he carefully wrapped it around her shoulders. He did not know how she appeared on the beach in her current state, but it didn't matter. He had to help her in any way he could. The now clothed girl turned her dark head to look at him better. Sorry, dark head just threw me off, like, huh? He's light. Oh well.
Maybe this is based off, live action, movie.
No, this is the Power Ranger.
I know, but maybe they changed the ethnicity,
Dark-haired head.
Nick returned her grateful smile as he realized who this maiden was. It was his rescuer. He was certain he would know the heroine's face anywhere. After weeks of dreaming of her and his daily pilgrimages to the seashore, she had finally made an appearance. He had so many questions for her, it was impossible to pick a place to start from. She seemed to recognize him as well. The mysterious maiden grinned broader. She tucked a stray lock of raven-colored hair behind her ear, careful to keep the cloak around her shoulders. Then she stood, spinning to face him. Nick's memory had not done the girl justice. He had forgotten the exact shade of onyx that was her hair, the perfect double curve of her lips, the tawny color of her eyes. Abruptly, the Prince of Briarwoods realized he was still grinning foolishly at his companion. She must think her future monarch an idiot.
I am much indebted to you, my beautiful lady. I would not be here if it was not for your brave deeds. Please, lady, I must know your name. And will you sing for me again?
She hesitated, seeming to be uncertain. The prince felt an even stronger urge to protect this strangely quiet girl. Finally, she gestured toward her throat, which he took to mean that she did not possess the power of speech. He felt a slight glimmer of disappointment. If she had no voice, then she could not be his rescuer. But still, she was obviously in trouble, and he could still be of service to her. Nick smiled sympathetically.
Perhaps I can escort you to your home, lady.
Nick politely suggested.
At any rate, I'm certain that your parents worry because you're not at home.
The prince frowned as he looked over the maiden again.
On second thought, perhaps I will take you to the castle so that you can get something a bit more proper to wear.
At this, the dark-haired maiden nodded eagerly. The pair turned and began to walk up the slight slope of the shore. Nick saw that there was a carriage waiting on the other side of the low wall that separated the cobbled street from the beach. Someone had come to fetch him as if he were a child. As the prince and his new friend drew closer, the carriage door opened and King Leanbow stepped out onto the street. He looked at his son, his expression stern. Then he realized there was a young lady present. The king's face softened.
Nicholas, your mother and I have been extremely worried.
Nick drew the girl closer to him.
Father, this girl needed my help. She does not speak and she sat on the sand completely in the nude. I worry something horrible may have happened to her.
The young prince shot his father a meaningful look, which Linbo interpreted immediately. The king nodded once, focusing his attention on the maiden who accompanied his son.
My dear girl, come. The carriage will take you. The carriage will take you to our castle, and my wife Udana will find you a gown to wear. Then, if you so desire, my son will escort you to your home.
Madison smiled gratefully as she bobbed her head. The prince helped her into the carriage and sat next to her as the horses began to move towards the palace. For the duration of the journey, Nick found it impossible to take his eyes off the girl. Though she could not have been the one to save his life, she was still a beautiful girl, and he found himself wanting to speak to her.
Mother will take care of your dress.
He told her reassuringly.
And do not worry. When I bring you home, I can explain to your mother and father.
She gave him a wistful look, and he moved closer to her.
Are you alright, lady? Has someone harmed you?
The prince put a careful stress on harmed, wishing desperately that the maiden could answer him. The girl shook her dark head, smiling again. He would have liked to have said more to comfort her, but the carriage pulled to a stop. King Leanbow cleared his throat as the door was opened by the coachman.
Get her inside, Nicholas, and then ask your mother to meet us in a private parlor. We have much to discuss about the current situation.
Leanbow turned his gaze to the girl.
Fear not. We will help in whatever way we can.
I can't.
Yeah, it's even funnier to me now that I'm the one clicking it. Madison was helped into a soft blue velvet nightgown by one of the queen's attendants. Then she was seated at a vanity as her hair was brushed back and woven into a braid. Once that task was complete, the mute princess received a pat on her shoulder from the attendant. She turned to smile at the pretty redhead, who returned the gesture. Then the maid crossed the room, pausing beside the circular bed. Queen Udana's maid folded down the heavy white quilt, revealing sky blue silk sheets.
Your bed is prepared, lady.
The maid murmured. She curtsied and slipped out of the door. The now human girl slowly stood, testing her new limbs. She found control over them easily and took a few steps. Madison smiled to herself, overjoyed that she had finally gotten her heart's desire. She was a human now, and she was in the castle where the Prince of Briar Woods lived. There was a knock at the chamber door. Madison smiled again at the prospect of a visitor, and the Blue Princess pranced over to the door. She pulled it open to reveal Prince Nicholas standing in the palace corridor.
My greetings, lady.
He said nervously. The prince was dressed for bed as well, Maddie noted. She stepped back from the door and gently waved him inside. The prince followed Madison as she sat down on the lavish bed.
I trust everything is to your liking.
She nodded, tucking her braid behind her ear. Madison desperately wanted to speak with him, but Necrolyze's potion prevented that. She looked wistfully at his kind, smiling face, wanting to explain her story to him. Hold on, I got someone at my door.
Invaders. You hate it when it happens. Crazy aliens. Never know when they're gonna show up.
I can't believe the Black Arms have invaded Rayleigh's house.
Oh no, not the Black Arms. Man, have you seen that that video by that one dude who does like a bunch of Sonic stuff? with Black Doom calling Shadow cringe.
Wait, you talking about Throw Time Fandom?
No, no, no.
I have no idea then.
Okay, I think it's
Boo. Jet,
Hello.
probably.
Yeah.
Jet. I think. Now I gotta look it up.
I love this. I love this one YouTube Sonic Riders YouTube poop, and it just keeps having Jet randomly go yeah in the background.
We're gonna have to put a pin on that. Put a pin in that for later.
Yeah, it was Jet. Yeah, it was Know Your Cringe. That was the name of the video. Really good video.
Is that your OC?
It's an amazing name.
I mean,
Cringe.
if you watch the video, it's amazing. It's one of the funniest Sonic videos I've ever seen.
I'm mixed on Jet.
Oh, the character?
No, the
No,
YouTuber.
the YouTuber.
Oh, the YouTuber, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm mixed on his stuff.
She nodded, tucking her braid behind her ear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a story.
Yeah. You're back now, so we can continue.
Yeah. She looked wistfully at his kind, smiling face, wanting to explain her story to him. He mistook her expression.
May I show you something, lady?
Nick asked, twining his fingers with hers and pulling her up from the bed. Madison bobbed her dark head, silently following the prince across the room to another door. Nick opened it, stepping out onto a stone balcony.
This is a pretty spot.
He said.
You can see the whole kingdom from here.
Madison's face lit up as she gazed out onto the horizon. Briarwood spread out under the pristine white palace. The village cottages were grouped close together, a cozy setup. There were no people out at this hour, but Madison could easily imagine citizens bustling about the cobbled square, much like the market in Atlantis.
I know almost every inch of this kingdom.
Nick told her. There was a bitter undertone in the prince's voice. Madison touched his arm in sympathy, and Nicholas spoke again.
I feel as if I will never escape Briar Woods. I want so much to be free to do as I wish. My mother and father are very protective.
It had never really occurred to her that Nicholas wanted to be free in his life too. She could relate, and she gave the hand holding hers a small squeeze. Nick turned to look at her, and a half smile on his face.
I must sound so ungrateful to you. At least I know that my parents love me. Yeah,
Madison. Hey, he does have that going for him.
yeah.
Madison waved a hand out at the extensive view of the kingdom.
Yes, I suppose one day this will be all mine.
He agreed with a nod of his head. Off in the distance, the clock chimed 11 times.
I will let you sleep now.
He
Hello?
I looked away for a second. He promised when the clock's chime stopped echoing across... What? He promised when the clock's chime stopped echoing across the land.
Tomorrow I will arrange for us to spend the day together. We can do whatever you would like.
She met his gaze, her smile soft now. He had the strangest desire to kiss her, and judging by her expression, she would not mind. The prince started to lean in towards her, his eyes closed. He sensed her coming closer to him, and he smiled in anticipation. Then the young couple was interrupted by Queen Udana.
Bowen dear, it is time for bed.
The red-headed queen announced to her son. She took her son's arm, gently tugging him along after her.
Good night, sweet child.
She said to Madison. The prince was annoyed by his mother's interference, but he could do nothing about it at the moment.
is like the worst mother ever.
Actual cockblock.
Yeah, what the heck? Tomorrow.
He promised. Madison flashed a smile at him. When she was alone, she left the balcony, pulling the door leading out to it closed behind her. He got into bed, smiling at the ceiling. Madison couldn't wait for the morning to come.
And that's the end of chapter 8.
That is chapter 8 indeed.
And straight into chapter 9. I'm
Also-
assuming, you know.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep going, can we?
Yeah, we can, yeah. It sounds like it, yeah. I'm pretty sure we can, yeah.
Well, if Scrappy is not objecting or saying anything, I will keep going.
I like to imagine that Scrappy's eating right now.
I'd also like to imagine that.
I feel like if you're gonna have Raid voice, you may as well eat while that's happening.
Yeah.
I had to voice characters still, though.
Yeah, but you
but
you don't like, you know, you can eat what,
eat
like in
while those
between.
characters aren't coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
There's time. This is mostly narration.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Me talking to myself,
Raider
really,
was
come on.
Raider was talking for like a good chunk of that. So
My garlic bread would not be done. I'd have to put it in, then wait for the I'd have to wait for the oven to heat up, then put it in, then wait like 7 minutes, then wait another 7 minutes because that thing takes forever and never cooks right. It's just,
You see,
yeah, well,
the thing is that we could very easily talk about absolutely nothing for 7 minutes while you're
Yeah,
going to
I
get
mean,
your garlic
we
bread, you know.
we can wait if you like really need.
does
to.
the audience want that? I don't like.
I'm sure they want to hear us talk about the You're Cringe skit, you know. I'm sure
fine. I mean,
they
like,
want to hear me explain it, you know.
They want to
It's
hear
very
us
funny.
recreate the Your Cringe skit.
if we have to wait like 14 minutes or something, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, these are already like an hour to an hour and a half anyway. Sometimes
Yeah.
2 hours. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, especially since you said like you haven't had lunch either. Like I think you need I think you need food.
Chomp chomp.
Yeah.
I had a late breakfast, so I'm not too fussed, but
Right.
sure, why not? I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is an early intermission, and yeah. Don't say something that we'll regret.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna
I'm
be
in shock,
Enzite again.
We're past that arc.
Are we?
Oh, wait.
Are
Who
we
knows?
past that arc?
Okay, see, I missed 7 chapters, so like we have to be past that arc, right?
You know what? Sure. Sure, we can be past that arc.
How's that blue archive going?
Dude, fucking, I have... So they released the first half of Volume 2, Chapter 2. I have still not done it.
Yeah.
And a few days ago, they made a tweet saying, yeah, second half is coming soon. And I'm like, god damn.
Yeah. So what kind of game? I know it's a gacha, but like, what is the actual gameplay like?
So the character you pick 4 active characters and 2 support characters. So like the active characters will be the ones fighting, and the support characters will just provide a stat bonus.
Okay.
And they each have an activation skill, a proc skill. And you wait for skill points to charge over time, and each proc skill has a point cost.
Hmm.
Interesting. You know, speaking of Blue Archive, Grand Blue Fantasy, they kind of went just a step too far for a bunch of the Western audience with one of the character arts. And now
Define a step
everything-
too far, because it's
I'm not
because
gonna explain it right now, but let's just say that now there's this whole joke every single time that a notably underage character is even in the game. People are always all like, "Oh man, this game's never gonna get past the Blue Archives allegations," and so now I have to deal with that, you know?
see the thing is, before it was Blue Archive, it was Azur Lane.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like Now people are like, oh man, Grand Blue Fantasy is trying to go the Blue Archive route. They realize how much money Blue Archive is getting with these designs. But like, nah, come on. What? A game can't have an event where a 7-year-old realizes that she shouldn't be living with gods and god slayers? Like, come on.
Right?
That sounds like a pretty reasonable event.
Yeah, like, no, seriously, this event was like so funny from a conceptual standpoint because the event was about an R rarity character. An R rarity character that hasn't gotten any action since she was introduced back in like 2015.
Wow.
And her whole thing was realizing maybe I'm not special. And just like from a pure meta concept, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But of course, people were too focused on the fact that she was a very small girl.
Internet.
Good old internet.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty fun event, though. It was a really cute event. I'm very happy with that event. That's all I had to say
Well-
about Grand Blue Fantasy, though.
Well, I hope you are, because I'm gonna cancel you for it now. The Blue Archive player cancels someone over it.
Oh no, whatever I'm going to do. It's funny though because like that event, like the only reason why people reacted weirdly to that event was because of the character art for a completely different character that released like 3 days before it. And I mean, that character did end up being a part of that event, but she wasn't the main focus. You know, and they didn't even use that art. It's like, I don't know why people were so like up and antsy about it at first. I haven't checked to see what the general consensus on the actual event was, but like I'm sure that everyone who said Blue Archive's allegations, they're never gonna get past them, are probably just, you know, they probably don't think anything of it now because like it wasn't a bad event at all.
It's probably just a meme, because Blue
Yeah.
Archive.
Just Blue Archive and oh my lord, that character art. Just you know, if you're ever curious, just go to the Grand Blue Wiki and just search Wind Lily. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You click in that uncap art, you'll be like, oh, so this is where those allegations came from. Grand Blue's never beaten these allegations.
Oh, that's amazing.
Now I have to look this up. Now I have to look this up.
Just type GBF Wiki.
Oh,
Pretty sure
I
she's a
see it
Wayne
now. I see it now. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is some of the Oh my god, that is really sussy.
Grand Blue's getting away with a lot with that character art. And like, I think the one thing that like really set it over the edge was that specific character is kind of like Side Games' like mascot in a way, because she's in every single Side Games game except for Uma Musume. And she's just like this super innocent character in every single one of them. So then just suddenly getting that art, everyone's like, is this even Lily? Like there were people legitimately like, are you sure that this is like art for her?
Yeah.
Say psych. Please say psych.
And then people are like, oh man, no, they're doubling down. Like people are, that's the reason why the Blue Archive allegations started to happen, you know? Crazy.
Yeah, I would say this isn't even, like, this actually isn't close to Blue Archive, but then I remember Volume 2, Chapter 1.
Gacha games have their moments, okay?
Yeah, they sure do.
The moment that they realize that something can sell, they're gonna sell it. But the funniest thing about all of this is that before that character released, we had like 3 straight Super Muscle Men events.
Yeah.
Like there was literally this event where the character wanted to become more like his hero. He wanted to become as what was the word? Dandy. He wanted to become as dandy as this other guy. And in his efforts to become dandy, he tried to join the military that like specialized in killing gods. He tried to like just be dandy. He tried to get his own kind of like threads, some dandy threads. He went to a casino. He really got lucky, but then he got beaten up and thrown out in the back alley. He almost drowned in a puddle of water, and while almost drowning in the puddle of water, the second half of the event happens. And in the second half of the event, it's all in his head. It's all a dream. He dreams that he's in a universe where everything is powered by pure muscle. One of the main fallen angel characters, Beelzebub, instead of him going for chaos energy to take over the world and rebuild a new one where he's the leader, instead he takes over the world in this universe by pure muscle. He literally flexes and creates a volcano.
Yo, that's baller.
He literally, and like the greatest part is that like he takes over the entire Skydom, and he's like, yeah, you know, the whole reason why I took over this place was to actually improve human like health, because if everyone's muscular, everyone's like fit and stuff, you know, your life expectancy is gonna increase. So this super villain in our universe ended up being like the good guy in their universe.
Wow.
But he the super villain like trains up the main character of this event and says, all right, I leave this kingdom to you. I have other things to do. And he just disappears, never shows up in the event again. But here's the best part. There's still 2 chapters left in the event. In the chapter before the final chapter, our main character becomes the villain. He becomes like super duper dictator. And he's like forcing people to do like 1 billion squats every day and all this.
Oh my god.
And people are just generally not happy. And at the end of that chapter, his friends from the real world that were like trying to help him out become dandy, like they find him, but like in the dream, instead there are these heroes. They're anti-muscle and fighting off against like the muscle brigade and stuff like that. And they go and invade his or they go and like infiltrate his castle, try to like get him back as friends, and they realize they can't beat him because he's just too strong and muscular. So then a character from a literal different dimension introduced in the anniversary event
What?
shows up in this dimension and is like, bro, this dude is too powerful. If he becomes any more muscular, he's going to destroy the universe. So he takes him out alone. And I'm like, what's going on in this event?
What?
It's such a crazy muscle man event. And like, and like, you know what event they follow up after with that?
What?
After that, they follow up in the event with the dude that the guy was trying to become like, going to a sauna. Just, you know, and just like a 6-chapter sauna event. It was like, wow, the Grand Blue in 2023 is just gonna be all about muscle men. This is hilarious. This is amazing. And then boom, when Lily drops, all of a sudden everyone forgets about the 4 months of muscle men. Everyone forgets about the part where we
That
have,
was 4 months?
well, not exactly 4 months. There was the anniversary event in March, which like it had the alternate timeline dude. It had this thing about like multiple different timelines. The main villain of the event was able to simulate every single timeline.
This sounds
and,
like
like,
drugs.
Yeah, and like the 7 like the 7 or the 6 dragons and stuff were like fighting against them too. The strongest people in the universe were fighting against this dude. And like that was cool, but then for some reason the Muscle Man event directly afterwards was directly tied to it through one of the characters from the alternate timelines, and I was like, what's going on? But no, it wasn't like 4 months of the event. The events were like 2 weeks each, but they felt like 4 months because it just kept going, you know?
Yeah.
And like story events, they tend to be like at the end of each month, and then reruns are in the first half. And the Sonic event was a rerun, but it wasn't directly after the Muscle Man event. It was directly after some sort of like, I don't remember if it was a Guild Wars event or something, but it was some other event that didn't have a story. But yeah, they just had a bunch of muscle stuff. And like, I feel like that might have been what did people in, right? Because Grand Blue Fantasy had like 4 months of clearly catering to not that audience,
Yeah.
to having like 2 weeks of catering to that audience, and everybody losing their mind because of it.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's hilarious. I loved it. I couldn't stop laughing at just all the like quote retweets of these announcements and stuff. The very moment that people saw Win Lily's uncap art, they were like, I don't think I can continue playing Grand Blue Fantasy anymore.
Guys, I don't think I can roll for this character.
I don't think I should. Now the funny thing is that my Wind team does revolve around Wind Crest, and Wind Lily is a Wind Crest character, so I was like, to pull for this character. But also, if people see this character in my account, what are they gonna think of me?
What's gonna happen to me?
What's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna be on a watch list?
Oh.
So yeah, just gacha games do some amazing things sometimes.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. And now Grand Blue Fantasy is just kind of chilling again, you know? They released a very attractive adult woman with wearing a tux that for some reason has the back exposed, and the fan base is back to how it used to be. This has been great.
Amazing.
As all things should be.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Grand Blue Fantasy and its weird races. For some reason, they have a race of like cat people who refuse to have anything on their back. So all of them just wear clothes with open backs.
You know, I might
Even
as well
the
just use
men.
the bathroom while Scrappy's gone as well.
Go on ahead.
Well, those cat people don't sound as bad as Final Fantasy's rabbit people.
Yeah, no, it's all fine though, because the cat people aren't the worst people in the in the game. You know, there are the drafts, good old drafts. Shoutouts to Narmaya. Shoutouts to Anilla. Shoutouts to Kambira. Shoutouts to basically every single 4-foot-tall quadruple D cup character in anime history.
Dude, I can't think of drafts without thinking of a certain artist.
I can't think of dang it. Oh my god. I think I know the artist. Unless we're not thinking that crazy.
I am thinking pretty crazy.
You thinking about a certain comic? I'm saying comic as you know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking
Okay.
about a particular. I'm thinking about
Okay,
a
we're
particular comic
thinking
by
about-
a particular
A
artist.
particular artist. They may or may not start with an A.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. You got it. Oh my god.
It's funny because like I didn't even need any hints. Like you said, I can't think about drafts without thinking about a particular artist, and my brain was immediately like, oh yes,
Neuron activation.
a specific story where they get their horns cut off for some reason.
Okay, well,
You're not thinking about that.
I forgot about that one. I just thought there was a certain other one by that same artist, and I thought there were drafts in that one too.
Probably there. I know he's done quite a few draft ones. Fortunately, you know, when it comes to that artist, I mostly think about the Cagliostro one because that one's insane.
No, to me, it's the Grand Blue ones.
Yeah, no. Cagliostro is a Grand Blue character.
Oh, fuck! I was thinking Cagliostro was a Fate character.
I mean, it's probably also a Cagliostro in Fate.
There probably is, but
Wouldn't be shocked.
I just don't know it. I just don't know it.
Yeah.
I don't play Fate.
I don't play Fate either, so like I can't help you with that.
I play the sussy ones.
Hey, to be fair, seeing the Fate Grand Order fan base, they're the most suspicious fan base. Oh my
No,
lord.
no.
No, you don't understand. Like I've seen I've had mutuals on Twitter, and I've seen their like experience from before they were Fate fans to after they were Fate fans. It's like night and day. It gets crazy. Okay. Like you can't stop them. Like something happens. Okay. And like they get like this whole other new kind of like group of people that they interact with as well. It gets crazy.
Gotcha do be like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm just over here like playing Star Rail because I'm still playing Star Rail because I feel like playing Star Rail.
I have
Maybe-
only been logging in to Star Rail. I have not actually been playing it
Dang.
because
I've
I've decided I'm just gonna go the full mile and go through go all the way through
Yeah.
Sumeru.
Yeah. Which, by the way, every Fate Grand Order character loves Nahida. Not for players loves Nahida.
Oh no!
That's the Fate Grand Order fan base. So,
I'm trying to switch to Sucrose, but she's dead, and I can't revive her with items.
you already revived someone else, or because
Yeah, I already revived someone else.
That's the worst feeling. So, like, I've been playing a lot of Star Rail, mostly because I've been building up for Silver Wolf.
Yeah, she sure is coming up next, huh?
Yeah, she sure is, and that is my kind of character. She is Melissa Fawn. She's got insane design. She, for some reason, has the ability to implant a weakness onto enemies, which is just amazing for everybody.
It's that's bonkers.
Yeah. So it's like I'm really looking forward to Silver Wolf, and I've saved up enough gems where if I have the worst possible luck, reach 90 pity and lose the 50-50, I will still be guaranteed Silver Wolf in the next 90 pulls.
Oh my god.
I have saved up every single gem except for the first 10 pull that I did on the Zayla banner because I didn't realize Silver Wolf was coming up soon.
Speaking of rolling in Hoyoverse games, so this fucking current banner cycle in Genshin. So I wanted Kirara, right?
Yeah.
I had 120 rolls go when the banners started.
Oh boy.
I won the 50-50 for Miko.
Oh no.
I won the 50-50 for Yoimiya.
Oh man. Hi.
I got C4 Chongyun and C3 Yun Jin. Two characters I did not have.
Hey, you know what though? Now your Yoimiya is gonna be cracked.
And I
Okay.
did not get Yoimiya until my 140th roll.
That's funny. And you didn't get Kirara at all?
No,
Wow.
not at all. No. My first Kirara was in my 140th.
That's crazy. See, me over here, I was considering pulling for Kirara, but then I loaded up Genshin, realized I didn't have enough for a 10 pull, and realized I had to play that event, and I was like, I don't feel like it now.
I don't really feel like it.
I don't feel
I don't
like
really
it.
feel like it.
Every single time I say that, I can't help but visualize SpongeBob, you know?
And the crazy thing, the current Star Rails banner, I wanted Ting Yun, is that?
Yeah, Ting Yun.
Yeah.
The hot fox lady, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a Kemo Mimi enthusiast. I wanted her, and I got her in 30 rolls.
Yeah.
So I was like, Kirara can't be that hard. Kirara can't be that hard.
Can't be that bad.
And sure enough, it was that bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny with the Star Rail banner that the 4-star selection in the current event banner, so perfect for me. It is such a shame that it is literally right before Silver Wolf, because I really want Sushang, and I'm more than happy to get dupes of Tingyun and March 7th.
I actually got Sushang and a March 7 dupe before getting Ting Yun.
You just
So
got
it
the
was
whole
like-
collection.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't get from that banner was Jing Yuan, the 5-star. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have enough rolls to pull for 50-50 because I'm not actually progressing in the game. So I'm just not gonna bother.
Yeah. I'm over here considering pulling in Jinwan's weapon banner, or the light cone banner, because that light cone would turbo juice my Jingjue. But it's like, do I really want to? Like, Silver Wolf is right there, and like I have enough to fully guarantee that she exists, but at the same time,
Dude, I
My
wouldn't.
name
I
is
wouldn't.
Jingjue.
If you're that passionate, if you're that passionate, I wouldn't.
but the thing is, my main DPS is Jingjue, and that's like not gonna change anytime soon. So it's like the raw amount of damage boost that light cone could give me is insane. And also another thing that I can't stand:
What?
Silver Wolf's 4-star selection, god awful.
What is her banner? I haven't actually looked.
She's got Danheng on it, which people say Danheng's a good DPS, but like
He's probably good. I don't care.
I already have 2 Eidolons on him from the standard banner, so I really don't care that he's in this banner.
Yeah, I think I do have an Eidolon on him too.
And I don't remember who the other 2 were, but I remember thinking that they weren't that good. No, one of them was Asta. Asta's neat, but
Like I think I did get an Eidolon for him when I was rolling for Sela.
yeah. Okay, so Silver Wolf's banner is Asta, Danheng, and Serval. And
Cool. So that's characters I already have.
yeah,
and
it's
two.
all characters you got for free.
Yeah. That's crazy.
yeah. That is a painful banner. And you see, like, I'd be cool with all these characters, you know, being characters that we got for free if one of them was Jingjue, because, you know, I use Jingjue. But instead...
Xingxue was already on the first banner, on Sela banner.
No,
That-
she
That's
She was
actually where I got.
free.
That's actually where I got her.
No, she was free. She was a free character. That's how I got her.
Yeah, I know there. I know there is a free way to get her, but I haven't actually done that.
But like, here's the fun part. The banner directly after hers, Lorcha's banner, has got Pella, Jingjue, and Yukon.
That last one I don't recognize.
Because that's a new character.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's like if you want the new Fox Lady, because it's a Fox Lady.
no!
It's
No! Come on!
it is literally Tingyun's boss. And she's got green hair, which is like, oh man, there I go. There's my bias.
Oh, that's the Mirage bias, Harry. The green hair.
Green hair.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I literally feel like I have to pull on Lorch's banner afterwards. I don't even care about the 5-star character in this one.
Also, I don't recognize who the hell you're saying is the
Exactly.
5-star.
Exactly. Well, have you made it to the Space China arc yet? Let's just call it the Space China arc.
No, I have not. I only just got to what's his name? Svarog's camp.
Okay, yeah. So Lorch is in
I'm
the
doing
next arc.
the test from for the robots.
Yeah, Lorch is in the next arc, and he's a really cool character. He's kind of a sketchy guy who carries around a coffin. He calls himself a merchant though, so it's like you have no clue what to think of the dude.
Okay.
But he's a healer that instead of using his skills to heal you, after he uses his skill and or ultimate twice, every character on the field heals after doing an attack.
No, that's
Cool.
dummy.
Yeah, that's really good. Like, because like the game is super skill point based. Like that can be really good if you don't necessarily need to heal all that often, because then he'll just like have it out there. But I just don't care. You know, I already have I have an E2 Bailu. E2.
Dude, I want Bailu. She looks dummy.
Yeah, I have an E2 Bailu. Can you guess what my other 5-star characters are?
I don't know. Fuck!
The silence is the answer. I don't have any others.
That's crazy. I think I have 2, Himiko and Sela.
I have no other 5 stars but Bailu, and I have Tube Silver. It's pain. Absolute pain.
Hey, at least you can try. You can do your best for Silver Wolf.
Yeah, I can guarantee Silver Wolf because I know I'm gonna get a Bailu again. Gonna have an 8-3 Bailu by the end. It's gonna kill me.
Oh my
It's gonna
god.
hurt.
Oh my god.
Honestly,
What
like,
what happened? Why can I no longer clear this domain?
You're just thinking about healers, and now you're thinking you can take hits, but that's just not the case, you know?
Like, I get it. My sucrose is frail. She doesn't. I still shouldn't be letting her die this easy.
Man, you know, if I lose the 50-50, I just hope it's not Bailu. I'm so sick of seeing Bailu. I've done 141 pulls in the standard banner, you know, and of course that's not counting the 80 pulls from the beginner banner. So I've done 221 pulls.
It's 50.
Out-
It's 50
oh, 50.
pulls.
Okay, 50.
Yeah.
I've done 191 pulls in the non-event banners, and those 191 pulls have yielded me 3 Bailus. I haven't even gotten the light cone. Like, I'd be cool with a light cone at this point, you know? Just give me something that's not Bailu.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten a 5-star weapon in Genshin or Star Rail.
Yeah. And like the funny thing is that
Like,
way that
I've only gotten enough for 3 50/50s, and I have won all 3 of them.
Wow.
yeah, and like of course, you know, with how with how that stuff is handled in the standard banner, it's like if you get a light cone, the next one's guaranteed to be a character at the very least. But like, who cares at this point? The character just appears to be the guarantee at this point. Like, there is no light cone in the standard banner. It just doesn't exist. I don't even know what the current light cones do though, so it's whatever.
No. Okay, well, this is bad. This is bad.
Getting beaten up again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I can heal though. I can heal it.
I can fix it.
I can fix myself.
I can fix her. I can fix her.
I just need this lava turtle to shut up.
I can't think about lava trolls the same anymore.
That doesn't sound good. That sounds like what we were talking about earlier with drafts.
It might be. Who knows?
I don't think it is.
Who knows? Who knows? You know? It very well could, you know. Very certain character, maybe, who knows? You know, this character may, you know, not exist for a bit, you know. What I'm saying is yes. Yes. It is exactly the same situation.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we're talking about the same artist.
No, not an artist. No. But the same situation, yes.
Oh.
I don't think that artist has ever touched Genshin.
No, they've mostly done like Grand Blue and Can Cola
Yeah.
and Azur Lane.
And there's that one time when they did a bunch of short ones for that one muscle anime. Good times.
That I'm not aware of.
I've read it all, you know.
I mean,
Big
I
fan.
did too, but I don't care. I don't care about the
Crazy.
non-gacha ones.
Wild. Oh, I completely forgot that they gave Fairy a new uncap in Grand Blue. That's nice. Also, by the way, when people were like complaining about the about what they did to Lily, one person was like, you know, you could have done this to Fairy or something. I'm like, man, Fairy's only a year older than Lily, and she's dead.
God.
Like, come on now. So
Wow.
I guess Fairy just doesn't give off that kind of energy.
I guess not.
Yeah, no. 13-year-old dead cat girl. Different kind of energy.
Mhm.
Different kind of energy to a 12-year-old ice chick who freezes everything she touches. Who's in the wind category for some reason.
Oh. That sounds kind of whack.
Yeah. Oh, it's really funny with like certain popular characters get multiple different alts, of course. And usually they don't give a character another alt in the same like type. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why Lily ended up being in wind this time around. But like, this is like her very first. No, this is her second alt. She has 3 characters so far, unless there's like an SR version I'm not remembering. And she's in water, which makes sense. That's her normal version. I believe her. What, is it the Christmas one? I don't know if it was like a holiday one in particular, but she has a light alt as well and a wind alt. So those make sense considering the fact that the other 3 types are fire, earth, and dark. Like those are very much not her. But then there are characters like Narmaya, who I'm pretty sure that the only element that she doesn't have a type in is fire. And I could just be wrong about that. And the thing that I'd be wrong about would be that she does have a character in fire. But yeah. Wind does
I don't
seem
know
to be
what
the-
happened. I suddenly cannot beat this domain anymore.
Lost your touch.
Yeah. This is what happens, you know. You got someone like me talking down your ear and now you can't focus.
No, but the crazy thing is, I was doing this domain before we started.
Oh.
That's really funny. Maybe, remember when I was talking about input delay in controllers earlier?
I'm playing keyboard and mouse,
Yeah,
my
I'm
man.
I'm telling you, just plug in a wired controller right now. Maybe you'll do better.
Let me just plug in my Switch controller real quick.
Yeah.
Or my PS5 controller.
Yeah. Oh man. So, when I got my PS5, one of the very first things I did was install Genshin just to see how it was, and I was not prepared for the buttons to be backwards, and for me to not be able to change that.
Oh, you mean like circle is confirm, X is cancel?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The
No.
classic, the original PlayStation experience.
No. On the PC, circle is confirm and X is to cancel.
Oh.
And that feels fine. Circle is also the attack button on
Oh.
PC. On the PS5 though, it's X. For all of that, X and circle are switched.
Right.
And like it's just a really awkward thing because like I've literally played Genshin Impact for like 3 years almost.
Well, for me, it's like Xbox and PlayStation usually have the confirm and like the bottom face
Yeah.
button.
Yeah.
Whereas on like the Switch, it's always it's 90% of the time it's the right face button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the A
so-
button. Because that's the A button.
Yeah,
the A button.
yeah.
Meanwhile, for some reason, someone west side decided to make the cross button, the button that clearly means cancel, the confirm button.
Yeah.
Genius. I love thinking about how the X button on PlayStation isn't actually an X button, but a cross, you know?
Yeah, right.
Cancel.
Yeah.
The no button.
No buts.
I've always wondered if if like the start and select buttons were shaped that way for a reason. Because like the start button is shaped like a play button, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we don't even have a start button.
We kind of.
We have an options button. And a
Yeah,
share button.
it's like options. It's options on PlayStation, menu on Xbox, and plus on Nintendo.
Yeah, and plus.
Right, yeah.
Push the plus and minus button. It's like, why do you have a plus and minus button? Hello?
Really.
The thing is, the plus and minus have been there since the
I
Wii.
was gonna say
Yeah.
they kept that since the Wii. They said
But we had a 1 and 2 button though, like.
yeah, like
What's
Yeah,
up?
the Wii had A, B, plus, minus, 1, and 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what the heck was up with that?
How about that brawl with the sideways Wiimote?
Oh,
How's everyone been?
welcome
We
back.
kind of just been talking about nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually forgot we were still streaming.
No, I knew. I've been constantly having to refresh because it keeps pausing the stream on my side.
Yeah, I'm
like,
just
hey, why is it
glad
pausing?
like Ped has like been able to think of random things to talk about this whole time.
Yeah, see, this is my specialty. If I turn my brain off enough, it just comes out naturally.
Yeah, I just started with saying like, how about that blue archive, and hoping it like went into something.
And it did. It went into quite a few things.
Quite a few
Yeah.
concepts, quite a few conversations, some topics that not proud of. Not proud of the fan
Yeah,
base for
yeah,
these
some
topics
less than
either.
proud topics.
Scrappy's
But,
gonna
like,
cancel us
still.
on twitter.com later.
Just gonna magically come across it. It's gonna be in his recommendations.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the For You tab. Watch out.
Hey.
His own content in his recommendations.
So
So we're gonna get.
where
Are we
did
ready?
we stop? Did we not start the chapter yet? I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
I don't
We
think we
did
did.
start
Okay.
the chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't. I don't remember this first sentence at all.
Actually, no, we didn't.
yeah,
Oh my
no,
god.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
finished one chapter and then we like took a break.
We decided to wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we weren't sure if Scrappy wanted to keep going. Oh my god, finally I did it.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations! All it took was for Scrappy to be here. We understand that Scrappy was the buff.
Yeah.
I still finished with only a few seconds left.
Amazing.
I'm doing a fucking level 90 domain at level 80.
Okay.
Oh my god! Oh, this one's dummy!
Got a really good artifact.
Yeah! Oh my god! Hold on.
Just
hold on, I
about
gotta-
ready. I think Raytheron just needs to, level up that artifact and show it off. We'll take a screenshot.
I can't level it. I can't level it. I don't have enough. I got a bunch of other artifacts and that I leveled, and now I'm out of artifacts.
Wow, that's what you get. You should wait on that.
I didn't want to wait on funny artifacts. I wanted stats. I want the funny numbers.
Funny numbers to wait. Speaking of
Yeah.
waiting and funny
numbers,
those
funny speaking numbers of- wait
for this chapter.
Yeah, speaking of making things wait for funny not funny numbers. Oh fuck, chapter 9. Queen Udana woke early the next morning, as was her custom. She chose her dress for the day and then rang for her attendant to assist in her dressing. Once she had donned her ivory silk garment and set her long auburn hair into an elaborate bun, the queen strode down the palace corridors to where her son's young guest was slumbering. She thought of the young girl, a small smile gracing her features. Nicholas had brought the maiden home the night before, insisting that they aid her. It was a peculiar situation, with what with the girl being a mute and having no clothes on, but in a way, this was all Udana had ever wanted from her son. It was about time that he learned to focus on choosing a young maiden to be his queen. Not all those silly thoughts of grand adventures. Udana found that if the girl had not been as beautiful as she was, she probably wouldn't have even cared. Nicholas had a girl that he cared about. And though the circumstances were strange, and it was apparent to she, her husband, and her son that the mute maiden was in desperate need of assistance, she could not just allow a stranger to take a room in the castle. But Udana prided herself on being a kind, gentle queen, as well as a hospitable one. She had arranged that a hot bath be drawn for the maiden. As the girl was attended to, Udana quietly asked a series of yes or no questions. The girl shook her head when asked if she lived in the kingdom, but nodded eagerly when asked if she felt safe in the castle. So Udana had conferred with Leanbow, and together the reigning monarchs had decided that Bowen's lady could stay. The Queen of Briarwoods tapped loudly on their guest's chamber door. She pushed it open, sweeping inside. Udana then pulled the heavy midnight blue draperies apart, letting the early morning sunlight stream into the chamber.
Rise and shine, dear one.
Udana implored her guest.
I am told you have much to do today.
Udana smiled as the maiden sat up, yawning and stretching. The queen nodded at the attendant who had followed, and the maid threw open the wardrobe doors. Queen Udana began searching through the garments with a sharp eye, skipping over the gowns that weren't blue.
You will join us for breakfast, yes?
Madison nodded and then climbed out of her bed. She went to stand beside the Queen of the Land, who grinned again and held up two choices for a final decision. There was a heavy velvet dress in the same color as the draperies, and a flowing silk gown in the exact shade of the sky.
The lighter one, yes?
A smile lit up Maddie's face, and the Queen gave a nod of approval. Her red-headed maid helped Madison dress, and then the generous Queen drew out a slim package.
Open it. It is a special gift for a special girl.
The Blue Mermaid unfolded the velveteen cloths, revealing a silver necklace that gleamed against the fabric. The pendant was a flower with a single pearl at the center. Maddie looked up at the mother of the prince, eyes wide with wonder.
Nicholas picked it.
The Queen revealed. Queen Udana's attendant, Kate, spoke. Lady, I could fasten it for you if you wish. Madison bobbed her head, holding out the sparkling item. Kate clasped the necklace around the Atlantean princess's neck, curtsying as she finished the task. If I may, I think it looks lovely. Madison gave another smile at the other girl's kind words. Udana gently touched the silent princess's shoulder.
I am famished, and you must be as well. Shall we adjourn to the dining hall, sweet girl?
The Queen allowed a brief pause before continuing.
Nicholas should like to see his gift, I would think.
Again, the prince's mother watched the dark-haired maiden glow at the mention of her son. Together, they left Madison's bedchamber and made their way down to the royal family's private dining room. King Leanbow and Prince Nicholas sprang up from their chairs once they saw their respective ladies. Leanbow pulled out a chair for his wife, and Nick hastily followed his father's example. Madison took her seat next to the prince, who was beaming at her. It was the king who spoke first.
I am glad to see you well, dear girl. And Udana, my darling, you are you are lovely as ever.
Leanbow reached for the teapot and a blue porcelain teacup.
Would you like some?
He asked the mermaid princess kindly. She glanced hesitantly around at the queen and then at the prince, both of whom had small cups of their own. She saw the prince take a sip, and then she nodded at the king. He poured her a cup and gently pushed it toward her. Madison took it, sipping cautiously. It tasted very good to the young princess, and she gulped down the rest of her drink, causing the little family around her to smile. Nick took her spare hand, his grasp firm but reassuring.
I take it you have never had tea before, my lady.
Madison shook her head and then observed the prince as he pushed a plate of triangular pastries towards her.
A scone, lady?
He offered. Maddie took one and found that she enjoyed this human food as well. It was so easy for the mermaid turned human to feel at home here. The prince simply could not stop smiling at his guest. She had obviously liked his gift, which pleased him. How he wished she could speak to him. He was curious as to how she had appeared on the beach as suddenly as she had. He wanted to know where she was from, what her family was like. But more than anything, he wanted to know her name. The desire to know her name was only slightly bigger than the one he felt to get away from his mother. Nick was definitely pleased that his parents were approving of his new friend, but the way his mother constantly winked at his father and then glanced at him was positively infuriating. He simply could not stand it any longer. He unfolded himself from his chair and looked at his mysterious lady friend.
I thought you might enjoy a tour of the village.
Nick began.
I'm ready to leave whenever you are.
The Atlantean native put the last bite of the scone in her mouth. She smiled at the king and queen in gratitude. Then Maddie shook out her napkin, standing as she did so. Queen Udana gave King Leanbow a smile that did not go unnoticed by both their guest and their son. Nicholas offered his arm to Maddie, and she took it. He led her through the palace, and when they were finally outside, the future ruler of Briarwoods turned to his fellow young royal.
I did not arrange to take a carriage or a horse. I must confess, dear maiden, that I should like to spend the day with you alone.
And then she was smiling at him. Ugh. Unlinking their arms and taking his hand in hers. He knew that helping her had been the right decision to make.
I was waiting for it. I was like, oh man, here it comes again.
Princess Vida felt strangely lonely. Her sister had to spend almost every waking moment in the company of King Daggeron's advisor now, and most days Chip joined them. She knew she could tag along with her sister and Toby if Chip did, but somehow she knew she would probably be unwelcome as far as Madison was concerned. The elder mermaid missed her best friend Chip and her sister Madison. She wanted things to go back to how they had been before Madison had met that human boy. And Vida knew she would have to apologize for there to even be the slightest chance of this happening. She hated apologizing. She was as stubborn as the ocean was big, and she knew it. This was a trait she had inherited from King Daggeron. But Vida was ready. She had thought of what she would say obsessively over the last few weeks. She had even decided what she would say in response to any argument her sister could possibly throw at her. She wanted to tell Maddie how proud she was that she hadn't taken their father's rules lying down. She knew Maddie had to have gone back at least once. There was just one problem with the Pink Mermaid's plan to apologize. Maddie was avoiding her. Xander Bly was worried about his mermaid friend too. They usually met much more frequently. He had not seen Maddie for weeks. Maybe someone had discovered her secret trips to his world. He knew that Maddie's father was strict and protective of his girls. The princess had told him of her mother's murder, and though she was his friend, he could see where the Mermaid King was coming from. If Madison had been caught by her sister or their father, it would mean the end of their secret meetings. He would miss her if that was the case. She was so curious about everything. She was so curious about everyday things he took for granted. But Xander had to try, just one last time. He owed it to Madison. She was a good friend, one of the sweetest girls he'd ever met. The young lord was making his way through the village when he saw something he thought he would never see. Madison was walking through the main square of the village. She was holding the prince's hand. Xander had no romantic interest in his blue mermaid friend, but he did have to wonder. How had she met Prince Nicholas? Why was she holding his hand? How had she gotten here? Maddie felt very comfortable as she walked along with the prince. He took great care to point certain things out to her as they continued their tour.
A statue of my mother's parents, King Nolan and Queen Theodora. They were fine, just rulers. My mother takes after them, my father always says. Or my mother takes after them, my father always says.
Nick smiled broadly, squeezing her smaller hand.
I hope I'm not boring you, Allison.
There was something in his expression that made the mermaid turned maiden realize what the prince was trying to do. He was trying to guess her name. An idea struck the princess of Atlantis. Maybe if he was able to guess her name, she could somehow convey to him her story. Then he could kiss her and she would regain her voice. Maddie was desperate to make this plan work. She had 36 hours to make the prince kiss her, or she would forever live as one of the sea witch's strange plants, the poor souls that didn't adhere to the conditions of her tonics. The blue maiden shook her name. Oh, how do you do that? The blue maiden shook her head, glossy raven locks partially covering her face.
They just
You
have
moved her hair.
they just have like subtitles at the bottom of the screen, and they just grabbed the name.
This is it right here. You just have to look down. See it. Unfortunately, I cannot see past the fourth wall. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, oh god. She moved her hair to see the prince deep in concentration. She knew she knew what he was trying to do. Maddie could tell.
Amanda? Amber? This dude's really going in alphabetical order.
Let's see, Aardvark, perhaps. No? Okay, I don't know what the next word in the dictionary is. Alright. He looked around, trying to find something to give him a clue with. Finally, the mermaid princess settled on using the hand she was grasping to trace the shape of an M in the air. He lit up in recognition and took another guess.
Would you like to go for a boat ride, Melody?
Wrong Little Mermaid film.
That's your daughter. You know, I just want to give some respect to our prince here. He didn't choose the ugliest name ever, like what the prince does in Little Mermaid. You know?
Wait, so what does he try?
In the movie, it was like Diana.
Mildred. He
like-
starts with Mildred.
I think that was the name of one of the animators' spouses.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry for that spouse's life.
You asshole.
Well, you have
Just
to
such
consider
a
when was the
ugly
Little
name.
Mermaid animated?
Wait,
Yeah, but
what's wrong with the
still.
name Mildred?
It's just an ugly name.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Mildew. It sounds like mildew. It's gross.
The movie was
I just
animated
remember-
between basically mid to late 80s.
Yeah, it was a Renaissance film.
Oh, the 80s. Oh,
Yeah, now you're starting to think like, maybe Mildred is a bit much, huh?
yeah.
Like we ain't talking about Laverne and Shirley over here. both those names I still prefer over Mildred, but still, you know.
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. So, are we gonna do a third chapter, or is this it?
So I kind of made the mistake of starting this without a drink, without water, and then
Oh, yeah.
kind of never left to get some.
Yeah, you should probably do that then.
Yeah.
Mistake the starting story time.
Yeah, you want to like you want to go back in time to like was it like 3 years ago and like slap yourself in the face?
Yeah. No, you know.
No,
the
'cause I got
funny-
nothing else to do.
The funny thing about this dude not getting water is that literally when we like all got into this Discord call, I brought up how my throat was kind of scratchy, so I've been drinking water all day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's-
kind of didn't anticipate taking the narration role, or even
Do you want to?
or even being a little upset in the intermission.
Right. Do you want? I mean, if someone wants to take over for the next chapter.
It's just. I mean, it's just getting water. That shouldn't take too long. Like, we can.
Oh no. You get water regardless.
Get
but
some
I just-
sip, yeah.
But I was just like asking if like you want like Ped or Scrappy to take over.
Just admit it, Harry. You love hearing me speak.
No comment.
Coward.
Hey, the silence is yes to me.
I mean, admittedly, we could stop. We could
Oh
stop.
my
We could, but will
After a
we?
whole 2 chapters.
god.
Yeah, we need to at least finish on chapter 14. And chapter 14 is kind of goaded. We got to finish chapter 14 today.
Chapter
10.
14. We're on chapter 10.
Exactly. Let's keep going, buddy.
Get your water right around. We can discuss who will narrate when you get back.
Yeah.
You know what? Sure, I'll do that.
Since he's gone or will be gone, and I'm still here, I guess we can just discuss future plans. Great scheduling, everyone.
How many chapters is this again?
19.
19.
I mean, we still got a fair bit of this to go, so.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know if that's what he was referring to when he said great schedule.
No. I mean, like, I mean, in terms of like future plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing after this?
We go through the archives again, or I actually go back, or we go on break so I can actually write some stuff.
I mean, that's also I mean, that's why I suggested a story recently that can literally be done in like 2 sessions max.
Clearly, after this, we start doing a weekly script reading of the new episodes of Sunshine and Through the Mirror, or whatever it's called.
Oh,
Perfect.
Do I want to know?
that's the name of
it's the Love Live spinoff.
Yeah, it's the Yoshiko.
Yoshiko. Yeah.
Like fantasy
fantasy
world
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Since
Yeah,
that's
what-
coming out next anime season.
We're watching that with Xavier.
It's always funny when you say Xavier when
Oh
I'm
right,
Xavier
because
too.
that's your real name, right? I forget about that.
I'm like, dang, you're watching with me? Then I have to like take a step back and remember there's another Xavier.
Yeah. Because I just know you as like Ped.
Yeah. That's always the fun part, interacting with people online, never using your real name, then discovering that they know someone who has the exact same name as you.
Yeah, I mean it's also for me it's a case of like I know a lot of people's real names, but I just know them with like I just know them too well with their usernames, so I just keep calling them that. Like I know Scrappy's name, for example, but I still call him Scrappy because it just feels right.
Scrappy is his real name. Hello?
Boo.
Hi,
He was born Scrappy.
Scrappy Dappy Doo.
Scrappy Dappy Doo.
It'd be really funny if I meet Scrappy in real life. I call him that, and then like his relatives would just be like confused out of their minds. Like, who the hell is Scrappy?
Oh, who's Scrappy?
Who's Raideran?
Who's Raideran?
Yeah, right.
Who
People
is
start to like
Raideran?
turn their heads, looking all weird. They're like, "Who the hell is Ped?"
And like, I mean, I'm like the odd one out here because I always just put my real
Yeah.
name on. Like, no one's gonna.
I'm gonna start referring to you as "Where'd my frying pan go?" That's your name now.
No one's gonna understand that outside of like the sack chat.
The Discord.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what that is right now.
It's an Azam.
Yeah, I don't know the context.
It's
Really,
an-
you've
it's-
never looked at his name on this channel? Like, hello, it's "Where'd my frying pan go?"
It's a,
Like, I know that's his nickname, but I don't know where that comes from.
Like,
That's-
it's
yeah, I have
it's
no
an
clue
it's an
either.
it's an Azumanga Daioh joke. I used to have like a long time ago. I used to have a Osaka picture.
Hmm. So it was all
But I
connected.
I sincerely doubt someone's gonna come up to me and say, "Oh, hey, you're Super MSL. Hi." Let's not.
Super MSL.
You never know.
God, that'd be so cursed.
No, they say the full name, make it even more awkward. You know, you're just at a convention one day and someone's like, "Oh my God, is that Super Mario Sonic Lover?"
God. Anyways, moving on.
It's my line.
Yeah, everybody's here now. So who's reading?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Harry's reading.
Congratulations, Harry.
Yeah,
Dang, Harry.
Let me just throw the controller like across the Atlantic Ocean real quick.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
ca-
Do
I'll
what you have
catch
to
it.
do.
I'll catch it. Don't
He's
worry.
got
Trust
this.
me.
He's got this. Yeah.
Okay, right if you're out of it, then you know, I guess I'll go back to this. Can't say it'll be good, but
Man, we missed our chance to have a different person read each chapter.
I mean, Ed, if you want to take over,
I mean, I can if you like really don't feel like it.
it doesn't matter. I just want this done.
Okie dokie. I guess I'll begin then with The Little Mermaid, but not actually Little Mermaid, but Power Rangers, but actually Little Mermaid. Chapter 10. Madison smiled at the prince. He wanted to take her on a boat ride. Maybe he was close to discovering her secret. Maybe he wanted the privacy of a boat ride to kiss her and break Necrolite's spell. But before the princess could nod her consent, she spotted someone of the corner of her eye. He was coming towards them, a very confused expression on his face. Xander was one of Maddie's best friends. I just realized I'm probably going to be reading to myself the entire time.
I could take your roles if you
Yeah,
want.
probably. We probably swap for now.
Yeah.
She knew he could probably explain to the prince that she was really a mermaid. But this was her mission. She had to be the one to make Nicholas fall in love with her. The blue princess shot an apologetic look over her shoulder at her green-clad friend. Xander stopped in his tracks, now a bit hurt at Maddie's dismissal of him. It pained the younger girl to see him look like that, but she had to ignore it, and she turned back to Nick. Maddie smiled again, bobbing her dark head at the prince's suggestion.
Excellent.
Nick replied, holding her hand as he started to head towards one of the vendors. Maddie was excited as she skipped along next to him. He was happy to be near her too. He was grinning broadly as he approached one of the larger booths close to the wall separating the village from the beach. The merchant's jaw dropped when he saw the prince of the land approaching him. I guess I can do this one. Your Majesty, I am most humbled to be in your presence. But why do you wish to use one of my humble rowboats when you have access to your fine yacht? Surely your lady would prefer that. He smiled at her, but his eyes were still confused. Nick was patient.
Megan and I would like something smaller, more intimate. She and I are great friends. How much to rent for an afternoon?
The man's eyes grew wide once more. I see, he said, and now there was a mischievous undertone in his voice. For you, Your Highness, the boat is on me. I insist. Have a lovely trip. He came out of the vendor's stall and led the pair down a short dock. There was a small collection of rowboats anchored to it. The prince stepped into one of the boats first. Then he reached up for his female companion. His hands lashed around her waist, lifting her and then setting her down as gently as possible. Both blushed slightly at the intimate contact, but the shy smile Nick gave her was enough of an apology. There are oars in the little trunk behind you, Prince Nicholas. Again, I wish you a pleasant trip with your lovely lady. A slightly annoyed Nick bobbed his head and smiled at the kind merchant. He took the oars out of their case and slid them into the holders mounted onto the sides of the rowboat. Nick gripped the handles, slowly turning the oars through the water.
I thought I would take you to a special place I know, Macy. There's a fairly private spot I go to think. The shore curves in pretty close, just wide enough for a rowboat.
The maiden looked up at him with big hazel eyes. He found himself getting lost in her gaze, and he wished he could take her to the private lagoon a little faster. The Blue Lagoon. He couldn't wait to try and discover more of her past. He'd been thinking of questions all morning. Madison could feel her heart beating fast in her chest. Nick was falling in love with her. He wanted to be alone with her, and he wanted to know her name. The mermaid turned human couldn't wait to be able to explain her story once the prince kissed her, and her voice was returned to her. I guess it's my turn to use the thing to do Hickey.
I can keep doing it if you want.
Go right ahead. There it is.
The Goo Lagoon.
The Goo Lagoon. The sea witch Necroli was fuming. How dare the princess come so close to completing all the conditions of their contract? This could not be allowed to continue happening. She had big plans for innocent little Princess Madison, big plans indeed. King Daggeron cherished his daughters above all the treasures of his kingdom. Even the Triton that had been handed down in the royal family for centuries. I like that he's Dagger now, but like he's still got a Triton. I think that's funny. The twin princesses were the only ties he had to the late queen, and it was common knowledge among Atlanteans that Daggeron would do anything to keep them safe. It was no wonder to Necroli that he forbade his Madison from seeing her human body.
Human boy.
Boy, oh my gosh. So if little Maddie was going to lose her freedom, Daddy Daggeron would come to her rescue. Necroli smiled evilly as she thought over her devious plan. It was positively foolproof, as long as she kept that idiotic girl from smooching the prince of the human realm.
Lily!
She barked. Obediently, her daughter came from the back room of the cave. Lily was one of the only real joys Necroli had in her life, though she was as strict with her as the king was with his daughters. Lily had been just a baby when the current king had transformed Necroli into the mutant she was now.
Yes, mother.
Necroli folded her arms around her daughter in one of the few affectionate gestures she had ever used.
Darling girl, you'll be Mother's helper, won't you? Do you remember that annoyance that came to see me yesterday?
Lily nodded her blonde head.
Of course, mother. Princess Madison loves a human boy.
She watched slightly fearfully as her mother grinned evilly again. Lily was not as ruthless as her mother, who still had a vendetta against the king even after all these years. The sea witch took hold of her daughter's wrist and led her over to one of the most useful tools. It was a large purple seashell, enchanted with a magic that allowed the viewer to behold anyone just by saying their name. Necroli showed her daughter how dangerously close the princess was to get everything. How close the princess was to getting everything she wanted.
I need her to fail, darling. Go take care of that, would you? Follow their boat and tip it or pull her into the water. Do something and do it quickly.
King Daggerton sat on his throne, idly tracing the shape of his Triton. He was very concerned about the younger of his daughters. He hadn't seen Madison for nearly 2 days, nor had he seen Chip or Toby. Nor Toby. The latter was usually quite diligent with his reports. It was very strange indeed for his assistant to be unusually quiet. And Chip had been a constant presence in the royal palace since the girls were small children. He knew the younger merman had appeared to have taken Madison's side of the argument between the princesses, but for him to not be around at all. The king continued to muse. As he did so, he saw 2 of the people he was wondering about. They appeared to be trying to sneak past the open door of the palace throne room. Daggeron frowned and swam after them.
Toby! Chip!
A quiet sigh was uttered, though the king did not know which of his fellow mermen had uttered it. Together the 2 spun to face the reigning monarch.
Hello, King Daggeron.
Chip greeted in his usual excited tone.
May I say, you are looking quite kingly today, your majesty. Have you been doing extra training?
Daggeron looked at his daughter's friend warily and shook his head before looking at his advisor.
Toby, long time no see. I wonder if you could tell me something. Anything at all, your highness.
Toby replied, sounding far too eager to please. Daggeron's frown deepened. But before the king could ask for an explanation of Toby's silence, the trio of mermen was joined by the Pink Mermaid.
Toby, Chip, father.
Vida said, acknowledging each with a glance as she said their name.
Daughter.
Daggeron placed a hand on his pink daughter's shoulder. The other clutched the Triton. The prongs of the ancient scepter were beginning to glow with his frustration.
Vida, do you know where your sister is? The palace has been very quiet the past few days.
Vida shook her head, folding her arms over her chest. She fixed her father's advisor. She fixed her father's advisor and her red-headed friend with one of her dark glares. Both looked a bit frightened as the Pink Mermaid's brown eyes narrowed until they were mere slits.
I bet that Chip and Toby know where Madison is, father. I quite agree, daughter. I know the 2 of you have done something to get Madison back to the human world. You will tell me unless you would like to be charged of high treason.
The father-daughter duo looked very menacing as they waited for Toby and Chip to enlighten them about Madison's apparent disappearance.
V.
Chip murmured in a pleading tone.
Madison is your sister, and she is also my friend. I helped her just as I would help you.
But Toby pushed his way in front of Chip. He knew that the members of the royal family were very angry, and that Daggeron was very curious about the punishment he had threatened. Or were very serious, good lord, about the punishment he had threatened.
Sire, sire, we know where Madison is.
It never gets old, I love it so much. The Prince of Briarwoods and the Princess of Atlantis had reached the private lagoon. Nick took the oars out of their mouths. Good lord, I am so dyslexic. Nick took the oars out of their mounts and put them back in their trunk. The little boat drifted through the pristine waters lazily.
You must be hungry. Especially after I took that oar out of your mouth.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of there's quite a bit of space in my stomach now. Nick said apologetically.
I wish I had thought to buy us some food before we left. When we return home, the chefs will prepare anything you would like.
Really craving oars for some reason. Nicholas took her hand again. She looked at him, still wordless.
I must also confess that I should love to hear your voice. You must have so many things that you wish to put into words. How frustrated you must be to live in silence the way you do.
Madison placed her other hand on top of the prince's. Her face was lit up again in one of the many smiles she always managed for this thoughtful boy. Nicholas shook his head, wondering how she was still able to communicate, though she had no words. The prince took each of her hands in his, tracing small circles on the backs of them.
You are so much braver than I am, Morgan. You must be, for you have every reason to hate the world. Yet you are as normal as possible. I, on the other hand, the future ruler of the kingdom, am no example. I have the love and affection of my mother and father, and everything one could ever ask for. And I am so ungrateful for it all. I always complain of how much I want to see the world. But you...
Then the moment Madison had been anticipating since turning human happened. The prince leaned in close, closing his eyes. Maddie mimicked his actions, her heart pounding again. This was what she wanted. She'd never been as sure of anything as she was of this. But just as everything was coming together for the Blue Mermaid, disaster struck. The little boat was hit hard by something from underneath it. The force of the blow was enough to tip it to the side. Both young royals were dumped into the lagoon. Madison was a strong swimmer because of what she truly was. As she recalled, the prince was not as good as she was at the aquatic activity. Thinking quickly, the youngest princess resurfaced from underwater. She found the capsized boat and righted it. Then she plunged below water once more to find Nick. She was relieved to see that the prince was making his way towards her, struggling. She reached him first, hugging his torso and moving both of them above surface. They broke the water. The prince was gasping for breath due to the unexpected excursion. Madison was faring far better than Nick, and she helped him back to the boat. As the prince climbed aboard and settled himself, Maddie looked out at the horizon. She could have sworn she saw the jade green tail of a mermaid diving below water. And that is chapter 10. Woo! Whoop. Truly amazing. We've made it through. Was that the third chapter of the day? Look at us.
Yep, that's the third chapter.
Yeah. Man, I remember there was a question that I wanted to ask, but I don't remember what that question was. So I'm gonna have to scroll up a bit to see if like anything can jog my memory.
Oh god. It wasn't about the oars, was it?
So, no. Absolutely not about the oars, okay? Man, I'm never gonna get over the oar allegations. Man,
So it's a question about the characters in the story.
I think it was. It's just not clicking at the moment what the question could have been. Was it even chapter 10 that I thought of this question, or was it chapter 9?
That is a good question. That is a good question about the question.
Oh man. Maybe I already answered the question.
Was
Maybe
it
I got the question
before
answered.
the intermission?
You see, I don't even know. That's the crazy part. It's entirely possible that I remembered the question after finishing chapter 10, despite the question coming up in chapter 9. Like, who knows, really? And nothing's clicking right now, so apparently I'm just, you know.
It'll show up.
Yeah.
It'll show up eventually.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
It'll
randomly
show up
remember it.
next time you win.
No,
Next time on story time.
It's gonna be really funny, right? I'm gonna not be here next time on story time, but I'm gonna randomly remember while you guys are recording. And then I'm just gonna randomly like pop it into the Discord conversation, be like at all of you, be like, "This was the question, answer for me."
No, you do it in
Right.
chat.
Oh yeah, Twitch chat, yeah. It'd be perfect.
So, the very reason to hate the world. What reason? I mean, it's a kind of odd line from Nick.
Oh, I think that's just an assumption line.
Like, he doesn't know her. I mean, yeah, her life kind of sucks, but he doesn't know that fully. He just knows that she's been possibly shipwrecked and was wound up on the beach naked.
Yeah.
And she's mute.
And she's mute, yeah. A lot of
She can live
sketch
with that.
things going on, you know. To think about it, you know, I'm honestly shocked that the mother is as cool with this as she seems to be. You
She
know?
just wants her boy to find a wife.
Yeah, but like
That's why it's a fairy tale.
just think about it though, like from this mere concept, this dude first saw this chick completely naked.
Yeah.
She refuses to speak, and the dude wants to kiss her. It's like dude is getting super seduced.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that, you know, she's so cool with it. Like, it's insane, really. But I mean, hey, you know, think of the bloodline, I guess.
Oh gosh.
Not
So
the
yeah,
worst thing I
enjoy.
said today, okay?
I can imagine.
You know what? It probably isn't.
So yeah, I enjoyed his chapters. Nice to see Lily, who is also from the show Mystic Force. Just want to make that clear. She's pretty clearly serving as Flotsam and Jetsam.
Right,
Yeah.
I was noticing that.
She's two characters. That's crazy. She's Lee and Lee. See, there it is. Lee. It's two
Put a pin on that. Put a pin in that for later.
Yeah.
Lee.
You know, fun fact: her center counterpart actually took the civilian identity of two identical twin girls.
Oh, that's really
That's
funny.
so good. That's so good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's such a power move. I love it. She
Actually,
said,
like-
I got two identities.
Is it her? Well, in a sense, like Necrolize's counterpart technically did that, but the two girls are basically Lily in the show because they do the quote-unquote espionage aspect of their villain role.
Hmm.
Calling Lily a villain is a stretch, but
Yeah.
With a name like that, you can never sound villainous. Lily's like the name of like the cute pet companion, you know?
Yeah.
The mascot character.
Yeah.
Oh my god, did I miss Super Mario 64?
Oh, right. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
what was I gonna say?
Funny Marrow game.
So yeah, that's
Oh,
I'm
no.
just yeah, I'm gonna level follow you. I actually did not read chapter 10 ahead of time.
Oh.
First 9 I did. Chapter 10 was a fresh reread in this case.
Have you read up to the end of the fic otherwise?
Yeah, way back in 2010.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're in the Wild West again. Okay, let's go. I love it when we're in the
Yeah.
Wild West.
Let's go, chapter 11.
Chapter 11. What?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Did you mean like right now, or do you mean next
Well,
episode?
I was gonna ask, are we done, or are we like doing another one?
I mean, we
Well,
could
Harry,
continue
Harry,
holding
are
Harry
you
hostage.
done?
Like, yeah, it all
I mean,
depends on you at
I'm
this
probably
point.
gonna go to bed right after this, so I'm fine with whatever at this point.
So if we keep going for another 4 hours, you're okay with that?
Okay,
So
no,
you're
absolutely
saying-
not. Okay, no, there's a limit.
So what you're saying is we can do the rest of the story right now.
Yeah, you'll just start. You'll just start seeing no gameplay and just. I'll just be like snoring in the background or something.
You can have a sleep cam. Just like turn on the webcam, have you in the bottom right hand corner asleep. Oh, it'd be perfect.
Absolutely not.
The story
gonna
time
turn
turns
off the
into
stream?
bedtime story time.
I guess.
Story
if
time
you
with
guys-
Scrappy turns into bedtime with Harry.
If you guys want to do what, like one more or something, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I can do one more.
Okay.
Guess we're doing one more. Okay. So.
Okay.
Now this is the question though. Do we want this episode to be an episode where all three of the readers narrate at least one chapter?
Yeah, do we let Scrappy narrate?
If he wants to.
It's pretty. I can't even say this is short, but sure, why not?
There we go. And now I'll take Scrappy's characters.
This is The Little Mermaid, Chapter 11. Xander Bligh was shown into one of the private parlors in the palace. He was told that whenever Prince Nicholas and his lady friend returned, he could speak to them. The young lord intended to stay until the prince was back in his home. He knew he had seen Madison with Nicholas. He needed to get some answers for his many questions. He did not care how long it took to get them. He had been waiting only about half an hour when the door opened. Xander set down his teacup as Nicholas and Madison entered the room. The prince was laughing, nearly bent double. Madison's face was lit up as well. Both appeared to be dripping wet. Madison skipped over to one of the chairs, sitting up completely straight. She reached for one of the teacups, only to have one handed to her. She looked up, expecting to see the unfamiliar face of a servant. She instead locked gazes with Xander. Her eyes widened in shock. She had not expected her friend to be waiting for her. She shook her head almost imperceptibly, willing him to understand that he could not say or do anything that would give her away. It had to be her who got through to Prince Nicholas. The Blue Mermaid was confident that she would be successful very soon. The prince recovered from his intense bout of laughter, going to stand by Madison.
Hello, Xander.
He said politely, giving his fellow young royal's shoulder a squeeze. He had been told he had a visitor, but he had not anticipated that a young noble would be sitting here.
Shit, I forgot I'm both of them.
Yeah, you've got my rules now.
Your Majesty.
Xander replied in his thick accent. He nodded once at Madison, notifying the Blue Mermaid that he was not going to say anything about her true identity to Nick.
I apologize for dropping in on you so unexpectedly. I merely saw you and your friend out and about this afternoon. I hope you had an enjoyable time.
Nicholas nodded.
You must excuse us for a moment, Lord Bligh. If you'd like, once Michaela and I are properly dressed, we will join you for a cup of tea.
There was little the future king would like less, but it would have been against all his etiquette lessons to not offer. The green-clad lord nodded and smiled at the prince. He sat back against the velvet-upholstered couch as Madison and Nick left the parlor together. Xander wondered why his mermaid friend had not spoken a single word. 10 minutes had passed before he was rejoined by Madison in the royal family's private meeting room. Thankfully, the Blue Princess was alone upon her return, giving Xander the opportunity to ask her what was going on. He stood and moved towards her.
I'm very surprised to see you here, Princess.
Xander said cheerfully. Then the adolescent noble shook his head sadly.
What's wrong, Maddie? How did you get, well, legs? Why does Prince Nicholas think your name is Michaela?
He stood, making his way towards his old friend. Her silence concerned him. When it became apparent to Xander that Madison was not going to answer him, Xander reached for her hand.
Maddie?
The mermaid turned maiden, gestured vaguely towards her mouth, and watched as the green-clad man's deep brown eyes widened with realization.
What happened to your voice, Madison?
Madison racked her brain for ways to communicate her story. Finally, she bared her teeth and held up her hands. Her fingers curled into what looked like claws.
Rabid cat?
Huh?
Xander questioned in a confused tone. The younger mermaid princess shot her friend a look that clearly stated he was being ridiculous. He shot her back a winning smile as the door opened once more. Prince Nicholas entered the parlor.
Now that I am in proper attire for company, let us drink our tea.
The prince said in a formal tone. He indicated to the other adolescents that they should seat themselves. Xander resumed his spot on the couch farthest from the door. Madison sat opposite from her old friend and beamed when Nicholas joined her. Despite all the questions the young lord had for the Blue Princess, he smiled to himself. However Madison had lost her voice, gained legs, and became acquaintances with the prince didn't matter. It was abundantly clear that Madison was happy here. King Daggeron and Princess Vita were still waiting to hear exactly where the third member of their family had gone. They regarded Toby and Chip with identical glares, arms crossed over their chests.
We're waiting, Toby.
Snarled the pink princess. Again, Chip fixed Vita with a pleading look in his chocolate brown eyes.
Let Madison live her life. Support her. So she fell in love with a human boy. What does that really matter? Can't you just be happy for her?
The king was the one that answered.
Madison broke our laws.
He boomed. Then Daggeron looked back at his advisor.
Toby, if you have information about the location of my daughter, I highly recommend that you give it to me.
Daggeron held up his glowing weapon, showing everyone how completely serious he was. Toby cleared his throat.
Of course, Your Majesty. Madison is not quite how you remember her, sire. Chip helped her distract me so that she could visit the Sea Witch. By the time we got there, Madison was signing a contract.
A small painting somewhere to the king's right exploded.
What?
Daggeron roared, absolutely infuriated now. He turned to Chip, his expression one of shock and outrage.
How could you help Madison go to Necroli? I was under the impression that you were my daughter's friend, Chip.
Princess Vita looked disgusted with her childhood friend as well.
I cannot believe you would do this. Necroli is twisted and evil, Chip, and she hates our family. How could you let Maddie go there for help?
It was the only way she could get help.
Chip replied angrily.
Neither of you wanted her to be happy. Maybe going to the surface to be with the humans prince was what's best for Maddie. Did you ever think about that? Or does her happiness even matter to you?
King Daggeron's eyes darkened with hurt for a brief instant. Then it faded as quickly as it appeared, and his face was angry once more.
You'll be punished later, Chip. For now I must go to the cave of the Sea Witch and bargain with her.
He let out a heavy sigh before turning his back on Toby and Chip. Vita was at her father's side as he left the palace, pausing only to give the yellow merman a dirty look. Once the king and princess had gone, Chip narrowed his eyes at Toby.
You are going to cost Madison both her freedom and her happiness. I hope you're happy with yourself, Toby. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to the human world. If I know Madison, she'll be at the beach. If I can warn her...
Toby looked at the younger merman incredulously. He knew that Chip knew Daggeron would keep his word about a punishment. And yet the yellow-scaled merman was willing to risk everything for the sake of Princess Madison.
I must have lost my mind.
Toby muttered to himself.
Let's be quick.
In her cave, Necroli smiled to herself. Thanks to Lily, her plan hadn't failed. In fact, every aspect was coming together neatly. Madison's whereabouts had finally been revealed to King Daggeron, and now Daddy Dearest was on his way to save his precious daughter. Now she was about to put the next part of her plan in motion.
Lily!
Barked Necroli in her usual impatient tone. She regarded the purple seashell she used to spy with an evil smile as she waited to be joined by her daughter. The green mermaid obeyed her mother and entered the main room of their cave swiftly. Yes, mother? The blonde girl asked, her voice slightly fearful. Lily had a feeling that she was going to be forced to help in her mother's scheme once more. Her conscience nagged at her. She did not wish to harm anyone. As Lily had feared, Necroli once again showed her evil smile.
Lily, my darling, I have much for you to do. You won't mind, will you?
Of course not, Mother. You need only to say the word and I will do it.
This is exactly what I want to hear from you. That's Mother's good girl. Now come here, Lily. I am going to give you a gift.
Necroli gave her daughter the shell containing Princess Madison's voice, placing the black cord around Lily's neck.
You are going to go to the surface world and find the Prince of Briarwoods. The necklace will give you the princess's voice.
Lily gazed at her mother, puzzled. Why would I need Madison's voice? Necroli fixed her daughter with a cold look, wondering how Lily could not understand the plan. It was brilliant in its simplicity. But then she smiled fondly as she went to Lily's side and folded one arm around her daughter's shoulders.
Lily, Princess Madison saved Prince Nicholas from drowning. She sang to him when she realized that he was safe. Don't you see? He would know her voice the second he heard it. And once you speak to him, he'll love you instantly.
But this explanation did not help Lily in the slightest. Mother, why do you wish for the human's prince to love me? Madison is his lady. These simple words seem to send Necroli over the edge.
Foolish girl, that is precisely the point. Madison cannot succeed in winning the prince's affection. She must fail. It is the key in my plot for revenge.
Necroli thrust a jar of the same tonic she had given to the princess at her daughter. Then she opened a small wardrobe and handed Lily a light green gown made of satin.
Drink the potion once you reach the surface, otherwise you will not be able to breathe. Then dress in this garment. It will allow you to pass as a lady. Now go. Do not let me down.
I hope that dress was waterproof. Nick, Madison, and Xander strolled along the beach, watching the sun finish setting on the horizon. The prince was holding Maddie's hand, just as he had for most of the day. Xander smiled to himself when he saw this. He could honestly say he wanted this to work out for his friend.
I'm glad you came to visit, Lord Bly.
Offered Nick quietly. The prince was discovering that he and Xander could really be friends. He was so resentful of being forced to stay within Briarwood's borders, he had never given any of the young nobles a chance. But the unexpected visit was changing his whole perspective. After all, he was so very happy now with his new lady friend. He was finding it impossible to be rude towards anyone. Now that he had opened his eyes a little, Nicholas learned that he was truly growing to like the charming Xander Bly. As the trio continued to walk along the shore, they began to hear faint sounds of singing. This sound was very familiar to Nick. It had been in his mind for weeks. He was certain that he would know the voice anywhere. It was the voice of the maiden who had sung to him after he was pulled from the sea. He was certain of it. This confused the prince. He knew that his female companion did not express the power of speech, so where could this voice be coming from? As they moved along the sand, it grew louder. Then Nick spotted the only other person on the shore. She was young, with wavy blonde hair. A jade green gown swathed her figure. Her mouth was open, and she was holding an unwavering note at the top of her voice. Nicholas moved towards her as if in a trance.
It's you.
And that is the end of chapter 11.
We've done it! We've read 4 chapters in one day.
We sure did, and things are getting spicy.
It's
And
you.
guess what?
I like the end of that. It's you.
2-hour stream. Woo!
And
We
a
broke
lot-
the 2-hour mark.
A good chunk of that is just nonsense.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
pretty good nonsense. Keep it in.
Yeah.
Was it good nonsense? I don't
This is
think
good nonsense. I think
it was definitely
nonsense.
nonsense. I don't know if it was good or not, but it was definitely something.
We should be able to finish this in like at least 2 sessions, so
If we go at this rate, yeah.
episode 100 is technically it's free for whatever we want it to be.
Yep.
Not sure what we'll do. Like it might just be another episode of story time, but
Yeah.
I feel like I want to try something for that.
Telling you, man. 10 hours, 10
No.
hour episode.
I'm
you wanna
vetoing
do
that
it?
immediately.
Come on.
We can start early.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
it's
God.
super simple, We already started like 5 p.m. my time. If we start at 5 a.m. my time, we'll be good.
Only way a 10-hour stream would work is if we just did that stuff in shifts.
Yeah.
Like,
I
well,
don't
my
know,
shift
but-
is over. Time to clock out.
God.
Just like
Right.
halfway through a sentence. Oh, my time is up. Good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
2.5 hours with, I don't know, maybe Harry, then Jason, then maybe Harry again, then Jason again. And we can swap out readers whenever they just feel like it.
That'd be hilarious.
See,
I mean,
see?
So-
Yeah, you're thinking about it now, huh? Yeah. Sounds pretty good, huh?
That's
yeah.
how it starts. That's how it
Yeah.
starts.
Hey.
This would be like the absolute last episode of Storytime if we ever do that.
No,
like-
stopping at 100. What a
Yeah,
bang.
that's pretty baller, not gonna lie.
God. This is not
I don't even have
happening.
an end.
This is not happening for the record. I want to put that out there now.
So what you're saying is we can do a 10-hour for the last episode of Story
Yeah.
Time.
If we just
I
set
don't-
up a specific final episode, 10 hour.
I don't even know what an end game for story time would even be. End game is, I don't know.
We read
What's that?
Avengers Endgame.
We
No.
we read that Smash Bros fanfic that's like apparently the longest.
Oh yeah, that
piece
one.
of-
The longest thing in the English language.
Yeah. Is that still the case?
I
I don't know.
thought I saw something about like Owl House or something being
Wait, what?
longer.
Wait, really?
I don't know. It might have just been bullshit. I might have just been one guide.
Just, crazy Disney fan, Right, Owl House is Disney, right? I don't even know.
It's a Disney cartoon, yes.
Okay.
I don't. Apparently.
I just
So,
assume that any popular cartoon that I don't know about, I just assume it's Disney.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but apparently it's good.
Yeah, I don't know a thing about it either.
I just know. I just know. Like, I mostly know about it because like some friends are like crazy into it.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, so yeah, we're probably just gonna spend episodes 98 and 99 finishing this, and then episode 100 is
We kill ourselves.
Dang, bro.
Goodness gracious.
IRL?
That is
That's crazy.
extreme, my man. Dude, I still have to play Persona.
For real, I gotta pull for Silverwolf. Like, what the heck? I gotta use Silverwolf.
this episode's a wash.
So what?
An absolute wash.
You got no idea. Hey, yo, he's doing the spider climb thing from a Ninja Warrior, bro. I saw that. Rayman's cool.
Oh right, the
Always
guy.
has
watching
been.
the stream. Yeah. Oh,
Episode 100. I don't know. Honestly, I might run a survey and just kind of run it by the Seas Brain regulars.
We read a lemon.
No.
I mean, hey, yo.
No, and I
Hey,
actually-
no.
I joke about that, and then like we read a story that's literally just about a lemon.
yeah, right.
Like that's how that's how they like.
That's
how
how
I
they
get
get
you.
ya.
That sounds
Yeah.
great.
Sounds like a Bug Snacks fanfiction.
We
That could
need
be
to- I think we just need to find maybe like a meme story for episode 100, like like finding a Minesweeper story like that, like we did that one time, like something to.
That was a meme story that was done unironically.
Well, that's what. Yeah, but like I mean, like just a story concept that just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
We need to think of something to find.
Gosh, if I have the time and feel like it, then I might just do a Seas Brain fanfiction. What could possibly go wrong?
Okay.
I thought you were already making one.
I said I consider it.
Okay, yeah. If we're gonna do anything for episode 100, we should do that. Good
Maybe.
Luck, good luck thinking of a plot. Like, why'd you
Our
even
lives are the plot.
Yeah, when you even start with that? Like, one day they did an episode of Storytime and they talked, to a mic for like an hour. The end.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If not that, then maybe we just don't read anything at all for episode 100. Just kind of do like a best of. We just reminisce about our favorite stories and moments, performances, and whatnot from the first 3 years. Maybe we drag Otter Mountain back in.
That would be very interesting.
Oh.
And then Ped and Raider would be like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Who are these people you're talking about?
Yeah, for real. It's just been us. All 98 episodes, you know?
Obviously.
So yeah, there's to be determined. I didn't think this would get to so close to 100.
Yeah.
Well, we are.
3 years. That went by scarily fast.
Dreams do come true.
Hell, dude.
That's what this was, right? A Scrappy, a dream?
It's all been
It was a
fever
means-
dream.
Yeah, I
Yes, but
Oh,
like-
this is real.
Why does time keep going by so fast? I said it.
Wake up.
During the LP we did, but why is Galaxy 2 13 years old now? The hell?
because you're old, Harry.
I hate
I'm
that.
thinking
Dude,
about Galaxy too.
during the Luigi's Mansion run in at GDQ, Someone donated and said they have 20-year-old home videos of them and one of their family members playing Luigi's Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And after talking about it a little bit, like one of the couch commentators said, "There's no way this game's 20 years old, right?" And the host said, "Yes, it is. It was like what 2003? Did it release?
2001,
I think it was a
2001.
launch game for the GameCube, right?
basically.
I don't know."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he said, 2000. The host said 2001, and you could hear a collective groan from the audience.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I feel like that's how I'm gonna be whenever like Pokemon Black and White start to reach the 20
It's like,
range,
Oh my-
you know?
like
When Black and White hit 20, oh god.
That's when I'm gonna start to feel old in particular.
like what is it? The Wii was like 2006, right?
Correct.
It doesn't feel like it at all.
The DS will be
been
20 years
around to me.
old next year.
Bro, Sonic
Yeah.
Heroes is 20 years old this year.
Seen Heroes.
Good lord.
Oh man.
Sonic Generations is 13 years old.
I hate
Gonna
it.
be
12.
14 years old.
12.
I hate it.
Yeah, I
though.
know.
I hate it. though.
I was more so referring to like when it was announced.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't. Stab. Can we like chaos control real life, please?
Chaos Control time itself.
Yeah.
Chaos Control.
I don't know how that would feel, you know, because like we're kind of stopping all of time as we know it.
So
I have to imagine that have some pretty crazy ramifications on the human body.
Yeah.
it's like temporal constipation.
and
Oh, that sounds. Oh, man.
like, how long does it stay stopped? Who unstops it?
Yeah, and what happens when it continues?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so like if time is stopped, if all time is stopped, and it just suddenly continues, does everything progress as normal? Or does all the amount of time that the time would have been suddenly all progress at the same time?
My god. Like time has been stopped for 20 years and then after that it continues and you suddenly age 20 years.
Yeah, like it tries to play catch up.
Oh god.
Imagine someone just giving birth. They're like, oh, I'll name him David. Time stops. Time starts back up. David immediately grows to be a 20-year-old fully grown man.
That sounds awful.
So yeah, episode 97 is pretty much in the can, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's like we're gonna continue. We're reading Mermaid. We're gonna continue reading Mermaid, and then we do something stupid for episode 100, I guess.
I'm
Yeah.
still banking on the Seaspring fanfic. That sounds amazing.
Not if it doesn't get written. So
We delay story time until it gets done.
Episode 99 is the final episode of Seas not
Yeah, it's
Seas
just-
no story time.
Yeah, and then see you guys in like 5 months.
don't dread me for good time, Harry.
Yeah, I'll write it and it will be horrible.
You give it to me, I'll write it. It will just be the four of us because I don't know anyone else.
Okay, see now then I have to write it because I at least kind of know everyone.
No, I was
Yeah,
gonna,
you
no, I was
never
gonna say now it's gonna be a competition. Like everyone just writes a Seaspring fic and like, this is horrible.
If people actually, I don't know. I'll think of something, I guess. I don't know. If I write something, it will not be a long story because I don't have that in. I don't have it in
I
that
mean,
right now.
I don't think a Seaspring fic should be long. Like that sounds like a joke one chapter thing.
Let's just do like a really funny like courtroom kind of fic for Seasburn, you know? Like one person suing the other one over something really stupid. That way, every
Attorney.
single person gets introduced as like a witness or something.
Yeah. We're probably gonna have to have Jason do the gameplay stuff because I assume all of us are just gonna be voicing ourselves.
depends
No,
on
we all
who
voice
shows
someone
up in
else.
I mean, that'd be hilarious, but depends on who shows up in the story, because, like, I could write Tanner, but Tanner might not be available, so...
You could write him so, like, if he isn't here, you have a backup one that doesn't have him in it at all.
Have Nova come in just to do a Tanner voice. It would be great.
Yeah, I'm sure Tanner would appreciate that. So... Like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Barring that, probably just going to be a self-congratulatory best of, where we just shoot the breeze again.
Yeah. That's about
But this time we can talk about stuff from the prior years,
Yeah.
which means I get to talk about Mario Show again.
Favorite.
Your
Better be your favorite.
favorite.
So yeah, that's all I got, folks. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here with us.
Mm.
And I hope you enjoyed that tangent we had in the middle of it.
Oh, those were some tangents.
Those were some tangents.
Really,
What a fun
really.
progression. Anyways, that's all I gotta say.
I can't think of anything else I can say.
Yeah, I'm just about done.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
See you guys next time.